Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss the electrodynamometer type power factor meter. Okay, so basically this is the power factor meter. So it should measure the power factor of the load. Okay, so here we are having the construction diagram of a EDM type power factor meter. Okay, so power factor meter is like a watt meter only. Okay, they have a current circuit and a pressure circuit. If you recall, in the watt meter also we had a current pressure circuit and the current circuit, or current coil and the pressure coil. Okay, the current circuit carries the current whose power factor is to be measured, and the pressure circuit is connected across the circuit whose power factor is to be measured. Okay, and generally the pressure circuit is divided into two parts. Okay, so here the deflection of the instrument, it depends on the phase difference between the voltage across the load or the circuit and the current flowing through the load, okay, or the circuit. Okay, so here we are having a fixed coil and the second fixed coil. Okay, so fixed coil 1 and the fixed coil 2. Okay, here it is the fixed coil 1 and this is the FC2, is nothing but the fixed coil 2, right? Next we are having two moving coils. This is the moving coil 1 and this is the moving coil 2. Okay, these two coils are placed at 90 degree. Okay, these two coils are placed at 90 degree, right? Now to the moving coil, one of the moving coil, we have connected the pointer, and here it is a scale, right? The power factor, it may be unity, it may be lagging, it may be leading. Okay, next, one of the moving coil is we have made it as a purely resistive circuit. Okay, and the second moving coil, we have connected the inductor, means we are interested in keep making it as an inductive circuit. Okay, inductive. Here if you check, as I said, it is like a watt meter. Okay, now, so this is like a parallel magnetic circuit concept. Okay, and mutual inductance is not constant in this because we are having the difference between the two moving coils. Okay, now how it operates? So if you check, here we are having the two moving coils, moving coil 1 and the moving coil 2. Okay, here it is a load, so whatever the current which is flowing through the load, the same current is flowing through the fixed coil. Okay, so current, if here it is I, definitely here current is I. Okay, next, current flowing through the pressure coil or the moving coil is comparatively very less. Okay, because we have made its impedance to be very high, right? So same current flowing through the load, same current here, the same current will flow through the fixed coil first part, and again the same current will be flowing through the second part of the fixed coil. Okay, and again it returns to the load. Okay, so in this way the current flowing through the fixed coil is I, right? Next, here the one part, or one, yes, one part of the moving coil, that is the moving coil 1, we have made it as a purely resistive. Okay, and the second part we have made it as a purely inductive. Okay, if you check the voltage across each moving coil, it is same as that of the supply voltage, which is equal to voltage across the load. Okay, so voltage across each moving coil, because voltage across this MC1 is nothing but voltage between, yes, this point and this point here. If you check, this voltage between these 2 points is like a supply voltage only. Voltage across the second moving coil, right, is nothing but potential difference between this point and this point. Okay, so if you check the voltage across these 2 points, again it is a V. Okay, so now in the operation, as I said, it basically works like a watt meter only. Okay, so suppose we are having a phasor for V, that is the supply voltage V. Okay, next, so where will be the phasor for current flowing through the moving coil 1? Okay, so current flowing through the moving coil 1, MC1, is nothing but the moving coil 1. Okay, so current flowing through the moving coil 1, if you check, this is the moving coil 1. Okay, and it is, we have made it as a purely resistive. As we know, in the case of resistive circuit, the voltage across the circuit and current flowing through the circuit both will be in phase. Okay, so definitely the current flowing through the moving coil 1, it will be in phase with the voltage V. Okay, so consider this current is I21. Okay, I21 is nothing but the current flowing through the moving coil 1. Okay, next, where suppose the load is lagging power factor, that is the inductive. Okay, so load current will be lagging to supply voltage V by some angle phi, by some angle phi. So suppose this angle is phi. Okay, so now we can write the deflection TD1, deflecting torque. Okay, TD1 is nothing but current in the circuit, okay, or the current flowing through the current coil into current flowing through the moving coil, okay, into cos phi into d by d theta of m. Here m is nothing but minus m max into cos theta. Okay, because here we are in the angle theta and this angle we have connected is as a delta. Okay, so definitely the mutual inductance here m, it will be a proportional to the cos theta, so that's why minus mx into cos theta. So if you check, if you simplify it, it is equal to I into I21 into cos phi into mx into sin theta. Okay, this is the TD1 we are having. Okay, next, similarly we can write for moving coil 2. Okay, MC2, operation for MC2. Okay, so same, if we consider V is the phasor for the supply voltage. Okay, if this is the phasor for the supply voltage. Okay, next, so where is the phasor for the current flowing through the moving coil 2, as moving coil 2 circuit is purely inductive. Okay, so definitely this current will be lagging by angle 90 degrees, so this angle is 90 degrees and this current is I22. Okay, next, where is the phasor for the current, if we consider the load is inductive. Okay, so current flowing through the load, it is equal to, it will be lagging to supply voltage V, so this angle is phi, right? So what about the angle between I and I22, it is a 90 minus phi, right? So this angle is 90 minus phi. Okay, now from this can we write TD2? TD2, yes, we can write TD2, that is deflecting torque produced due to current flowing through the moving coil 2 and the fixed coil. Okay, so TD2 is equal to, yes, I into I22 into cos of 90 minus phi. Okay, into d by d theta of mx sin theta. Okay, so we can write it as is equal to I into I22 into sin phi, because cos of 90 minus phi is sin phi, into mx into cos theta. This is TD2 area. Okay, now, yes, therefore if we compare or add balance, TD1 is equal to TD2, or at equilibrium you can say TD1 is equal to TD2. Okay, so if we compare TD1 and TD2, yes, TD1 is I21 cos phi into mx sin theta, right? So it is I into I21 into cos phi into mx sin theta. This is equal to TD2, so it is the I into I22 into sin phi into mx into cos theta. So, okay, so if we compare these two, yes, in order to get this to be equal, okay, then here theta should be equal to phi. Theta should, because here it is cos phi, here it is a cos theta. Okay, here it is a sin theta. Okay, here it is a sin theta and here it is a sin phi. Okay, So if you want these to be equal, then theta should be equal to phi. Okay, so theta is nothing but deflection of the pointer, and phi is nothing but load phase angle. Load phase angle. Okay, so here deflection of the pointer should be proportional to the phase angle of the load. Okay, now, so therefore from this equation we can conclude that the change in angle theta is nothing but the phase angle phi. Okay, so in this way the EDM type power factor meter works. Okay, as long as the gate examination is considered, okay, they will not ask the numericals on this topic. Okay, so only try to understand the operation of the meter. Thank you.